Bueno, mi gente, bienvenidos. Welcome back. This is Abiertos with your host, DJ Mendez, a.k.a. my mother's son, a.k.a. my kid's father, and more importantly, not your sugar daddy. Mi gente, welcome into Abiertos. We do this every single week, Tuesdays and Fridays, here on YouTube and Spotify. You can also check us out on radioquerico.com, the place to be for all your Latin entertainment across the nation's capital, well, pretty much anywhere you can get internet service. But tonight, we're going to do another Dating Sucks. Why? Because in this day and age, dating sucks. And I'm not talking about what happens in the bedroom. I'm talking about how bad it is, how disgusting it is, and how rough it feels. And I'm not talking the good rough that, turn around, you slap it, and you're all excited, or you grab it, and it's all nicey nice. It's one of those moments where Bacon turns around and says, I don't like it. So, Bacon, bienvenido, mi hermano. How are you? How you doing in the building today?
Yo, you know what it is, the voice of power, MC Bacon, T-Dot's finest in the building, a.k.a. the ladies' choice, a.k.a. the gal dem azúcar, a.k.a.
Tocino!
Cheese!
Dios mío!
Yes, what's going on, Mendes? You know how we do.
So, my brother, I got a question for you.
What's that?
Since our last episode,
Uh-huh.
we had two very, very beautiful ladies in here. At least you called them that. I called them something else.
Cheese!
Hey, it's not my fault. What happens is when the cameras go off, should never be recorded.
But it does.
Okay, YouTube. World star. Anyways, so, my brother, how do you feel after talking to these beautiful ladies that were in here and gave us that information, especially with our sugar baby? How did that make you as a man feel?
Yo, that made me feel disgusted, but at the same time respected. Why? Because, again, fellas, if you're out here looking to give women money, expecting to get something, and they're showing you that you're not getting nothing, you're dumb. You're dumb. Plain and simple. But
Just a pendejo.
hey, I had to give her the respect because she came on here and just kept it raw and
the
said, yo,
only
boom.
thing you wanted to give.
Right?
That's not the only thing you wanted to share.
Right?
It's small and curved to the right.
But that's what it is. It's like she just came on here and said, listen, this is what I do, and I don't really give a fuck about it. I'm all about my money, and fuck what these guys think. Fuck what they feel.
But you know what the best part is? They ain't get nothing.
Right?
You're
Dumb.
right. Okay, so
You're
today,
dumb.
it is what it is. You are what you eat, and you eat what you are. So you know what? I must be some big chunk of meat because I love eating my steak. But that's another story. She can tell you all about that. Mi gente, this week on Abiertos, we have 4 characters that we've been trying to get them into the studio because it's nice that we're doing the series of Dating Sucks, but at the same time, every generation has its own obstacles, and every generation in race, color, gender, LGBT, LMNOPO turns around and has their own thing to do. However, 2 of them are camera, 2 of them are not. Bacon's going to get nice and cozy and squishy with 2 of them. He's going to get them all squishy. And then I got the other 2 next to me. One of them has fear in his eyes, and the other one's looking at me like a piece of meat. I'm not going to say which one. Hey! So let's put them on camera here. And Bacon, welcome them in.
Yes, so we have the one and only Alejandro here, and Maverick, you said was he?
Maverick!
Close enough. Merrick?
Yeah. Merrick.
Ay, Dios mío.
Merrick.
Ay, Dios mío.
Hey, I'm black. It's in me. I'm sorry.
Apparently you want it in you.
Set that up.
There we go.
Jump off.
I got the power.
Right?
And next to me, gentlemen, introduce yourselves. Wait, before we introduce them, fellas,
Yeah.
how you doing? Say hi.
Is your good day today?
It's a good day today. That's true. What about you?
It's been very nice. Got a haircut today, you know.
Oh, yeah. See? He wanted to get all pretty for us.
He hasn't gone to slaps yet.
Who?
His haircut slaps.
Listen, I don't want to slap nothing. Fellas,
Right?
fellas, introduce yourselves. Tell us your name, and let's hear your voice. One, don't be shy. Grab the mic.
I guess you can call me Frankie. I don't have much else to say other than good to see you. Glad to be here.
So far, he doesn't have much to say.
You can call me Terry. It's nice to be here. Day's going well so far.
But listen, yo, Bacon,
Bro.
you got the girl voices and I got the boy voices.
Hey,
So, fellas, welcome in. Welcome to Abiertos. Welcome to the studio. Welcome to Radio Que Rico. But more importantly, Welcome to Dating Sucks.
'Cause
So I'm
we
going to
don't
ask
give
a
a fuck.
question right off the bat. And I want to know from all of you, whenever, just put your hand up or grab the mic gently. Don't grab it too hard. You know what I'm talking about.
Family Feud.
And let us know why, for you personally, dating sucks. Jesus, don't jump at the mic, guys. Grab it.
You guys want to go first?
No, come on. I think you got a lot to say. I think you got a lot to say over there.
Got
All right,
tons
that's
of
fair. That's
experience.
fair. I guess the main reason why that dating sucks is that you can never find someone with like the same morals, the same goals as you, or even if they don't have the same goals, but at least finding someone who can respect you and help you push yourself, or even be there for you in your hardest moments. There's always that one. As soon as it turns hard, they run off or they say, "Oh, I couldn't be there." But I guess that's one reason why it sucks. Go ahead, Mr. Maverick.
I'd say one reason why.
Okay, Top Gun.
I think one reason why dating sucks is that I see everyone's out here looking for the perfect relationship, right? And they're expecting their partner to mold to what they want, but you have to ask for it first, right? You have to say, "Hey, I want you to do this." But
Wait a minute.
Mm.
What the hell is a perfect relationship?
so a lot of people.
No. Don't try to give me your mathematical, I looked it up in a book experience. Don't tell me what you saw in a movie, because you know what?
Mhm.
J-Lo can make an amazing movie, but that butt doesn't do it for me. So, what does it mean to you? What is a perfect relationship to you?
That would be a difficult question, honestly.
Well, it isn't easy,
Mm-hmm.
because you know what? What's perfect to you is not perfect to me.
Mm.
I don't know if you ever thought about that. What about the other two in the room?
So I've tried dating apps. They're
Here we go.
oh yeah. they're
What's this about?
they're an interesting place to be for all the wrong reasons. They really ought to just put them together and call it leftovers. It's they're
Ouch. I like that answer.
Yeah.
all of the people on the dating apps, they're either like 65, like 50, 60-year-old
Mother,
losers.
are you what kind of apps are you on?
Cougars.com.
No, it's that's
I'm a
just
sugar baby looking for a daddy.
He stands outside the retirement home swiping on Tinder.
okay, and you stand outside the KFC and you're way into it.
Wow.
And this is why. Please continue. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, there would be more interesting selection if we lived in like Toronto or any actually meaningful city. But then you come to Ottawa, and it's like everyone works for the government. Everyone's getting ready
A
to
doctor or nurse.
yeah, everyone's getting ready to finish their retirement plans, or they don't have one, and they're looking for someone that does. Yeah, dating apps, bad idea. Just stay away from them.
This is starting to sound a little bit like the other recording we did.
SabertoothTigers.com.
What about you there, Mr.
Yeah, you got something to say.
Terry O'Harry?
Generally, I've seen a lot of relationships between my age group, and every single time it has always been a toxic mess that ruins everything for everyone around them.
What do you mean by that? This is interesting. I like this.
Well, first one I saw was somebody who was trying to wrap everyone around her finger, and damn near succeeded. And we just collectively pushed her out after that.
So this is an ex-friend?
Yeah, ex-friend back in quarantine when it was still going on.
Wow.
Yeah. Next one was somebody who turned around and stabbed one of my friends in the back, started spreading a lot of shit about him. We managed to keep it relatively contained, but it was rough for a bit. And then
So Terry, let me ask you real quick. I don't mean to interrupt. So the first one that you mentioned, the woman that was trying to wrap everyone, was it when you said collectively you got her out? Was that causing a lot of interference with people around her? Like, was that, I don't know, family or friends or anything like that, or
not
like how
really.
bad? How bad was it to the point that you guys said, okay, you know what, she's got to go?
She was making it worse for everyone that was in that group.
Oh, okay.
She largely kept her family out of it, which is good.
Oh, okay.
But it was just enough that we decided we don't want to deal with all this extra stress and
Right.
shit that she was bringing up. So we collectively blocked her and avoided her from then on.
Awesome. When enough is enough, it's enough. Get the fuck out. Yep.
Watch your F-bombs.
Fudge.
Yeah, you like the fudge.
Mm.
Notice how you say the right thing and all them.
We're a,
But then you turn around and say, "Go work." Exactly. See,
we're a hive mind.
Like
We
literally,
work
all
like
I this is all I heard, Bacon, and I think you'll agree with me. I literally, all I heard was, and I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but it was this
Right.
times 4, and the worst part is the look on the face was, I'm scared. Manual labor. I'm manual with other things, but not labor. The fact that the matter that 3 of them put their head down, one of them was just like, what am I going to do here? We won't say which one. So, fellas, with that in mind, do you guys feel that your generation is more of a useless throwaway Kleenex onto the next best thing or onto the next thing that'll relieve me? Or do you guys believe that it's just as use you for a commodity generation? Don't be shy, bro. All of you, whenever you want
That's
to
a good
answer.
question. I would like to say that, I mean, to be said it's a tissue to be thrown away, it wouldn't necessarily mean overall, because there are portions of our generation that are, we want to work hard.
We're looking at the overall, not the 1 or 2 people. We're looking at the overall, generalizing this.
Again, which is what I'm looking at. There's portions of our group, even if not half
We're not
of our
asking about your
generation-
group. We're talking about your generation. There's a difference.
Can I continue?
Yes, but I want to make sure you know we're generalizing this. We're not putting a group of people. We're not putting all the 19-year-olds or this and the 18. No. It's a generation.
As a
Simple.
generation,
Yes.
it's 50-50. Some
Do
of
you
them,
other fellas agree with that before he continues?
See, I mean, I've seen both the kind of using people as a commodity or the, try one onto the next, that kind of shit. But I've seen both the kind of equal amounts in our sort of age group all across between my own experiences, our experiences, and other people's experiences. I think there's probably quite a bit of both, and it's not ideal.
So would you guys say there's no believe in love anymore? With you guys, with your generation?
I would say generally, no.
Bring it closer. It won't hurt you. I
Yeah.
promise you. It won't bite
Yeah.
you. You might bite it,
Generally,
though.
I would say no. There are definitely some people, but in general, I would say that people are either turned off from it or they are the ones making everything shit.
Interesting. How do you feel about that, Bacon?
he's got a point. It's at the end of the day, it's where I believe throughout generations, it's always the same. It's just a different form of it. Because my generation that's where I would say, chivalry was. Man opens door for the woman, flowers, all that stuff. You don't really see that anymore, but you see it in different forms of, okay, can we do this? And ideas become more ideal, but at the same time, they become different because it doesn't favor a person, or if they're not interested in it, just because they're not interested in it, therefore they don't want to be interested in it because you are, and that's where all the excuses come through. So no matter what generation it is, whether it's my generation, I was born in the 70s, so understanding what's right and what's wrong when it comes to relationships, that'll always transcend through each generation, but just different forms of it and different ways of doing it, but it's always the same.
So pushing the button a little bit, fellas. Remember, you guys are allowed to ask questions, and if you have anything that you want to bring on the table, bring it up. Don't be shy. Like I said, watch what you're going to say, because at the end of the day, it may come back to haunt you. I've had things come back and haunt me. Women come back and haunt me because of what I've said, but you know what? I don't care. But that's me. So I'm letting you guys know. I'm forewarning you. Now, like with anything that we do here at Radio Carrico when we're interviewing, you do have one plead the fifth moment. So at any given time, and I swear that was the chair, that was not me. At any given moment, you guys are allowed to say, I'm not going to answer that.
One moment.
When we direct the question to you. If it's a generalized question, you don't want to answer, don't answer. One of the other guys might answer. Maybe Bacon will answer. Maybe I'll answer the question. But if you really don't feel comfortable answering, you just say, I plead the fifth. You get one of those. Any more than that, there's a snowbank outside waiting for you. So, I'm just kidding, guys. Keeping that in mind, fellas, sex. Is it making love, or is it getting your world rocked and you're out? What is it for you guys? What do you feel it is for the females in your generation? Because y'all ain't dating no cougars if you're dating, and y'all ain't going after sugar mama, at least that I know of, or a sugar daddy, or whatever sugar you guys want. However,
On that brown sugar, bro.
I know one of you has a thing for a mama in the group, but I won't mention names. They're all looking at one individual.
He's a bad man,
Shaq.
right?
So, with that in mind, guys, how does that affect you? How do you feel about it? If you don't have anything to say, and I'm not going to ask you if you're a virgin or not. That's not for anybody to know. That's your own personal information. But if you are, don't worry about it. If you feel comfortable enough to answering this question, go ahead, please. And remember, like I said, we're going to try to respect you guys' privacy and virtual lives. However, if y'all have a comment, shoot it out.
I think mainly part of my generation, it's more of seen as get rocked and leave, as where originally it was supposed to be meant of just love, meaning love, being the biggest part of a relationship, being one of the biggest stepping stones, if not one of the best or most important stepping stones. But with that, it's just like now that how generation, influencers, social media platforms, they all turned that into something that's like not meaningful as it is, and not as like something that should be kept to you, and something that should be like kept pure as much as you can.
Anybody else want to talk?
To expand on that a bit, I think it has become a little more like just another hit of dopamine. Like, obviously, there are people who still consider it to be the purest act of love or whatever, but largely, I think it has just become another hit.
Wow. Okay.
I've seen a lot to suggest that a lot of our generation just see it as another way to have fun, like drugs or alcohol, and now sex is becoming something akin to that. But in terms of how I feel about it, it's where, for me, love and trust combine in a really spiritual way. And if you're just using sex as a toy, you don't get that. So I honestly don't consider them the same thing anymore. Like, if you're having actual the spiritual component of sex with an actual partner, I think that's great. But if you're just using sex as a toy, that's all it becomes now. It's just a toy to you, It's just another thing.
Are you speaking from experience?
Not personal experience, but experience of other people that I've seen.
Has that experience happened to you?
Fortunately, not yet.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. You haven't been used as a toy yet. I have so many things I want to say now. Oh, my God. Bacon, how do you feel
Say it,
about
let it
this?
out.
Well, just to
No, I can't let it out, because if I start talking like I normally do on the show, Bacon's going to throw me out. I'm going to be the snowbank.
Well, there's, like I said, like we were saying, there's two sides of the coin with this generation here. So, because I've seen through relationships with that I've had in the past, and it's at the end of the day, I believe they are combined. But going on to an episode we did even yesterday, everything's about choice. Because at the end of the day, if you're a guy and you see a girl, you pretext to yourself what your plans are with that girl. just from the jump, as a woman is doing that with you. If you're meeting a girl, she's doing exactly what you're doing, but she may be doing it in a different form than for what you're doing. So at the end of the day, a man and woman will know if it's just sex for them and that's it, no strings attached, or if there's, okay, you know what? Let me take my time to get to know this person. Let me take my time to gather the feelings. And me personally, that is the ultimate. When you're with someone, you love them, they love you, the energy's there, like sex and lovemaking, it's a different type of animal. Where compared to just hitting and quitting, because you're gonna get that punani and say, yo, boy, I'm gonna deal with it and that's it. And I don't know why he's grunting right now, but I see with the younger generation, it's one of those things where they see it as almost like a game. Like it's a game of, I won't even say chess, it's a game of checkers. And then, that game becomes body counts and, let me see how many girls I can bag in a couple of months, or girls are like, hey, let me see how much sex I can get in a couple of weeks or months or whatever the case is. So with the younger generation, I believe they understand both concepts, but with the mind frame and society and peer pressure and everything else combined, it just becomes a game to them until something happens and they learn, say, hey, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Or they go vice versa and say, hey, you know what? I had enough of trying to get to know someone because they've hurt me in the past. So it's like, you know what? I'm just going to, and then that's it. Straight goods.
Slam bam, thank you, ma'am. Anyways.
That's it. Yep.
So, fellas, with all of that being said, because you guys are males, how do you think the ladies feel about this? From what you've experienced, or the other side of the coin, your partners, your lovers, your mistresses, your whatever you've had, how do you think they take this? How have you felt? And have you ever had the opportunity to be the one taking advantage of the other, or the one being taken advantage of?
Can't say I've been in that scenario where I would be the one choosing if I'm going to take advantage of someone else, but I feel like in that in that place. Hold on, I had something, but I lost it. Could you repeat the question for a second? I had it right there.
Hold on, let me say. I have been in a scenario where I have been taken advantage of twice. And, I mean, it's not fair because one relationship, it was so well, nothing wrong could go wrong. It was one of those relationships that, I think I'll eventually marry this person. Now, with that said, it's when I pointed this factor out, a lot of, the relationship factors started deteriorating between her and I. Having the fact that I pointed out something that not okay with and should be something that's kept for true intent, not something that we should do every other day. And the moment I brought that up and I said I wanted it to be something that's special between us, she started backing away, slowly stopped talking to me, and eventually just broke up with me because I didn't want to do what she wanted to do, and just not wanting to do that specific thing.
So would you say she was trying to manipulate you?
Yes, you could say that. And
when you brought it to her attention, did you do it right away or did you take some time to?
Did you let it linger?
Did you let it linger and before you said, okay, you know, enough's enough, let me talk to you?
Yeah, I did let it linger just for a bit because it's one of those things where okay, maybe they're just doing it for now, maybe it's not everlasting, or it's just something that it's they did it once in a life and they don't do it again. So I started to linger, and then as it kept on going, it was, okay, no, I have to speak about this. This is something I shouldn't have to feel, and we shouldn't be able to be comfortable talking about. So I'd say that's my side of the story.
That's what, and I'm sticking to it.
That's very common, though. I can resonate with that. That's very common where I've had relationships where I've been taken advantage of, and I've actually taken advantage of the woman in one of my relationships where I kind of in your shoes a little bit, where there was
He says the woman. He has to say
says-
it.
there's
Gotta
been-
be sure.
there's a situation where I caught on to something that she was trying to do, and just like yourself, I made it linger and see if it would stop, and then
One
I
time at band camp.
decided to flip the script on her, and we went ahead and did the thing that she wanted, but halfway through I stopped, and she's like, "What happened?" I said, "No." I said, "Well, you know this thing that you've been trying to do all along that we're doing now. I decided I want to stop now." So I got up and I left. Hundreds of messages, because here's something I find from my generation going forward, which is always a common thing. When a woman does something to a guy, personally with the guy that they're involved and they want to make it something special, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
when the guy retaliates, it's a bad thing. But if you see that the woman's doing what they're doing and you don't make it obvious to them until you jump on that act and do something about it right then and there, oh my God, you're an ass. You're a punk. You're this. You're that. You're everything else.
I would.
You're hurting me.
Right?
How dare you?
I don't understand this.
And we're not
logic
trying to
and
knock on women. We're not trying
No,
to knock
not
on
at
women
all.
because
Not
we've
at all.
actually had women come in and give us their point of view.
right?
Which some things that were said were funny, some things were real, some things were hurtful. But it's their view, what they see, what they feel. So all of this being said, manipulation is still something that happens in your generation. It's been happening and will continue happening for years. Now, is it just the women that manipulate? Is it just the men? How do you guys, through what you've seen, through what you've experienced, do you guys think, is it just one gender? Is it just one type of woman, one type of man, one type of person that does this? Or is this becoming a more all-around thing that's happening?
I've seen too much of it with the males to say it's just a female thing. It is definitely something you see men doing as well with the manipulation and multiple factors. Wow, I'm struggling to find the words here. In sort of multiple contexts, but you raised.
We have dictionaries here if you need. I have a
That'll
thesaurus.
take too long. That'll make my head hurt.
I bet you that's the first time you said that.
Luckily, it isn't.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wrap that shit up. You're too young for children.
But I think it's
Even though you're a child?
what?
A child within a child. On the next Abiertos.
This went the wrong way!
I don't even know how to
There's
respond
so many
to that
different
now.
levels, bro.
Wah, wah, wah.
Right?
So, getting back to what you were saying, do you believe men are becoming stronger at the manipulation game, or is it just the fact that there's not enough machismo in men nowadays that they're trying to compensate for that?
I feel like it might be a bit of both, but I also feel like it might just be coming more of light. Like more people are starting to talk about it from both sides instead of just the and again, not to knock men, but just the men coming out and saying, the women abuse me or manipulate me. It's now both sides are coming out and mentioning it.
So with that being said, have you guys, and since you brought this up, have any of you been abused in your relationships? Physically, mentally, emotionally, financially?
I've been.
We're not talking about you.
Just go down the list.
As soon as I said that, the head starts doing, oh yeah. He became a bobblehead. But jokes aside, guys, have any of you experienced this in past relationships? And I'm not talking something about your parents, okay, or your mothers or your fathers or your uncles or your aunts. I'm not talking. We're not getting into that one. We can in a future episode. However, because we are doing a series called Domestic Violence, just so you guys know, if you guys are interested to come and talk about that, by all means, let us know. But with your partners, with your girlfriends, lovers, whatever you want to call them, okay? Your blow-up doll, whatever you want to call them. Have you guys been abused? And be honest, like we're not here to criticize you. We're not going to knock on you. We want it. Well, the reason why I asked this is because, A, I would like to invite you to that episode, and B, more importantly, I want to know how you feel.
I don't think I can say it was abuse, but I did have one particular case where they turned out to be transgender. It didn't tell me for 6 months, which was an interesting story.
So was it tell us a little bit, just a little bit. Don't tell us too much, but tell us a little bit.
So I met this guy, and we were seeing each other for a while, and I really liked him, and we were getting on well. And then out of nowhere, about 6 months in, he was like, "Hey, would you still love me if I was a woman?" And I was like, first of all, why are you bringing this up right now? Like, we're trying to get packing to go camping. Why are you, coming up with this right out of the blue?
Of all times.
Yeah.
Camping has a bad thing, if you know what I'm saying. Okay? Trust me, last night. You got to watch that episode when it airs, because even camping was brought up last night about a bad situation that happened.
It's got bad jubies there.
Oh, my God. You see why I don't go camping, children? This is why I do not go camping. I'm a city boy.
If you go camping, I don't know if the bear's gonna either make
Bears-
love to you
no,
or fight you.
That mother's going to turn around and...
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it.
For all the bare necessities.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, camping is a bad thing, but please continue before I say something stupid.
No, that was also the last time I went on a camping trip. I'm not doing
I'm
this
telling
again.
I'm telling you, last night, so the girl comes up, we're talking about this, and she's telling us what happened with one of her sugar partners,
Oh,
friends.
boy.
And she turns around, and they're about to have this conversation, blah, 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 how she's wanting to end it. And Mans has got emotional. Mans was all about it. Mans wanted to get fisticuffs. Camping is for the weak and for those that are trying to break up. So, please tell us.
Yeah. So we got up to that point, and then he didn't really continue on it until I questioned him a bit more on the drive down, and then I was just like,
You still went?
"Well, we already paid for the damn plot. Like, I'm not just gonna let it sit there."
You took him with you?
Well, yeah.
Choice. Well, please tell us the coordinates so we can pick up the body.
I can't elaborate on that. But yeah, it just came down to, like, that's not how this works. If you want to be female and I'm into males, that it doesn't work that way. I'm sorry.
You're right. No, you're right.
I wish you would have said this, 6 months ago before we spent all
It
this
was
time.
that long?
It was 6 months. It was 6
Why
months.
would you hold that? Why would you hide your
I know. Why,
preferences or
and
who you
that
are,
was
what you
another.
want?
That was another point I brought up. Like, why would you put yourself through that? Why would you let that fester for
But
6
I
months?
love you.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
bullshit.
But, don't do that to yourself.
Well, forget doing it to yourself. The way I look at it that way is, you can't love someone unless you love yourself.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You're telling this person, I love you. You're my everything. I want to be with you. I want to spend my life, but I want to be a woman. Bro, I'm into guys. You're into not being into guys. Out of my door. I'm into women, by the way.
Yeah, just had to clarify that.
He pleads the fifth.
That's not what you said last night, Bacon.
Suddenly, everyone's choosing to remain silent.
So, with that being said, what about you, big guy?
Just a
You know
side-
what? Before you start, his name. What'd you say you call yourself?
Terry. It was him that came.
Terry.
Up with it.
You know what he's making me think of? You don't know what he's making me think of. This mother is the Terry Crews of this team.
Wow.
He just needs to do the moves.
100%.
So you got Terry and Frankie off the camera, just for everybody's asking. We've got Mr. Baseball and Maverick. You got the Top Gun team in here. I'm telling you. So, Bacon, with what you've heard about the youth and the generation difference, what do you see that's comparable to us right now so far? Before we continue and before we let him give us his 2 seconds.
Well, basically, it's feelings are feelings and choices are choices. One chooses to keep secrets because maybe they felt if coming out from the beginning or being straight up, which is the right way to do things, they're not going to get what they want. Now, is that a good thing to do? No, because you should be honest and open about who you are, what you are. Don't be ashamed of it, and let people know, hey, not trying to compare situations, but for me, I've always been overweight. You see me? I've always been big. So when I talk to a woman and show them what it is, hey, listen.
Big up to the big man in the room.
I mean, so it go? Yeah. What you see is what you get. Because, as people, we always perceive what we see physically. And that definitely is something that should be taken into context.
Yeah,
But
man, you see that look the man give you?
Oh.
Mm?
Yo, but don't see Tyler what hey. I'm fat free and good for nobody. Get it?
Oh,
Good.
yeah. That's not what
I don't know about fat free.
It's Oh, this is what you're talking about? Okay. Ready for all of y'all.
Oh, here we go. Ding, ding, ding.
Wait, Bacon. Are you skinny on the inside?
How was that?
Are you skinny on the inside?
No, no one will never know that.
If he's skinny on the inside, he hooch on the outside.
I ooze gravy. Get it?
You know
No.
what? When Bacon turns around the sweats, you know what happens? The world starts sizzling, motherfucker.
Tell him.
And here I am swearing. Don't get me to do this. Anyways,
Watch your F-bombs.
I'm watching it. Terry.
Before I move on to manipulation, I just want to add a side note about camping. There was a period of 6 years where every year I would either get a tick bite or I would get poison ivy.
Can somebody please get me a towel?
That was seriously.
This is
a
why we
random
have
fun
cities.
fact.
Somebody get me a towel.
That was the ultimate random
Get
fun
me a
fact.
towel. You want to know why I want a
Come
towel?
on, get the man a towel.
We need a towel.
For
Wiping his tears off. You know what I'm playing right now?
What?
You don't know what I'm playing right now?
Nope.
You know, that's a big one. I'm playing the little one for him. So, please, tell us, Mr. Manipulated.
All right.
Mr.
So
Bugbite.
I have encountered.
Yo, I'm not calling you Terry. I'm calling you Bugbite from now on.
So,
Awesome.
as I was saying, I've encountered a lot of bad people in relationships so far. Not me personally, but people that I knew who were in relationships with those people. And manipulation was usually the number one go-to for those people. And actually, using a bit of what I saw from them was something that let me keep the second situation where she turned around and backstabbed my friend to like a minimum. Because within a week, like I kept talking to her to try and gain as much information as possible. I played along. And it gave me the crucial piece where she screwed up, and it let me prove everything that she was saying wrong.
So were you part of the manipulation, or?
I would say so, yes. Not as maliciously as she was, but yes.
To a point to prove what you had seen, what was going on.
Yeah.
In that sense. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that. Good manipulation versus bad manipulation. Which is which?
Is there such a thing?
They're all spelled the same. I guess the way how you use it, I guess.
Chocolate is chocolate, they say, but brown chocolate is different than white chocolate.
But it's chocolate.
No, it's not. What is wrong with you?
I did that on purpose, yes.
So, there's another show I do here. It's called La Silla Caliente, the hot seat. I think we're going to hot seat these fellas, between you and I.
Here,
We're going to go.
the button's gonna collapse.
So, that's not my problem. Actually, partially is. So, we're going to go around the table here, ish, for lack of better words. You're going to ask a question, I'm going to ask a question. And we direct it to whoever we want. You get your one plead the fifth moment. You don't have to answer that one question, but everything else you have to answer. Are you in? And let me hear you say yes if you're in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on, Terry.
Yes.
Frankie Valley.
All right, let's do it.
All righty. So, the rules of the game are, we ask you a question, you answer it. Do not use your brain. Y'all are used to using your brain to answer questions.
Are we doing like word association?
I'm going to word associate you.
Giddy. Okay.
Stupid. Anyways. So,
Stupid. That's me.
how about time you said it? So, I ask you the question from your heart. You have to answer me. And I will tell. I'm not stupid. And I will tell if you guys are lying.
Uh-oh.
And I'll call you out.
Uh-oh.
You got a lie detector?
Pulls out the
You want to see
pulls out
it?
the table.
I'll show you the lie detector right now.
Good Lord.
Yo, there's a machine in the back. What are you talking about, you
That's
dirty
right.
man?
No,
Is
no.
the lie detector 8 inches long?
Neither. No.
It's a little bit longer than that. Hey!
Americans
So-
gonna have a great time.
Hey, that's why we call him Maverick. You know why people get called Maverick?
Why is that?
Because they're used to long adventures.
Slow clap. Love it. Love it. Love it.
That was just brilliant.
Well, you know, what can I say? Some of us have it, others just take it. Apparently, he took it. He's still taking it, blowing up.
Hey, to each their own.
Hey, I'm not going to get in the middle. You know what? I'm going to give you the honors of starting this one out. Normally, I'm the one that starts this, but today, I'm going to give you, Mr. The Voice of Power, the power to start.
So this is the hot seat, huh?
Let's hot seat this, boys.
All right.
Is it in this order or this order?
I'm gonna state the question and then
You see you throw the question,
Yep.
and you either say generalized questions, so all of them,
Yeah.
or you point and you give their name, or you give their name. Just let's not point. That's rude.
Yeah.
Even though they're rude, the aroma in here is getting rank. Somebody didn't shower, fuckers. So you turn around and say to them, "Listen, Maverick, blah 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 blah," or general question, and let it out, and they'll answer. Okay.
All right. So
Shoot.
general question. Do you feel at any time in any relationship that you've been in, whether it was short term or long term, that you were at fault for what's happening? Terry, you can start.
Yes, in some cases.
I don't really think so. I haven't had that before.
Yes, but not as many as I thought I had.
No, I don't really think so.
Okay. Generalized question. Are you scared to take somebody's virginity?
I feel yes because what if they regret it, right? Like I feel like it's very sacred to have something like that, right? And the first person that you share it with or give it to should be someone that you really feel like is your person, right?
Not necessarily, but nothing else.
It's okay. One word answers whatever you feel. If you won't feel like giving us 2-3 words, one word, do it. You?
Mr. Maverick stole my answer.
No. This is no stealing. This is from your heart.
Yep.
Use your feelings and your emotions to answer this.
I would say that virginity of a person is like one of, if not a prized possession of them. That like it's not physical, it's more of mental, emotional, and it's something you can't physically grab, and it's just one thing. When it's done and it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it back ever.
See, I feel pretty similarly to that. I don't have as much of a problem, but at the same time, there's also like the slight little bit of pressure, like, oh, you can't screw this up. First impressions. You need to get it right. But yeah, it's if you both are ready for it and you're at the point where you can make that sort of spiritual connection, then I wouldn't have had an issue with it.
Generalized question. Are all of you guys virgins? And if you aren't, did you feel the same way as you answered that last question just now?
I'm not a virgin, and yes, I do feel the same as the answer I said. Like it was something prized, something personal of mine that when I lost it, I was like, yeah, this has to be like with the right person. Fortunately, was not the right person, but it was all in the moments where like I believe that this person.
Fortunately or unfortunately? Because if it's fortunately that I was not the right person, what were you doing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'll fix that question.
That word you mean? Because
the
you answered the
answer.
question.
I'll fix the answer.
Next.
I am a virgin. I I feel about the same as before, but I didn't quite know how to put it into words. I'd say my opinion is similar to Frankie's, where if there is a connection and you're both ready, it doesn't bother me.
I'm pretty much the same, except I am definitely not a virgin anymore.
Hey! Look at the pride! You see those eyes glow? Winner, winner, chicken dinner!
No, but I've never really thought of it enough to put words on it, but I definitely held the same sentiment as long as I can remember, to some degree.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask a question. I don't want to generalize it, but I have to just to be fair. If you were given the opportunity to have a female or a partner, a forever partner, what's the one thing that that partner must be able to do, and second part, must be able to provide to you? And we'll start it off with Maverick.
So I think one thing someone should be able to do would be to like voice concerns. So if there's a problem, take it up with me. Like I'm the only person that can solve it, right? If you have a problem with me, help me out. Tell me what it is. And something to provide, I would say just some respect, right? If you respect me, I respect you. It's given or it's earned, not given.
I'm gonna answer this. One thing to be able to provide is just like a loving person, the person that you can come home to, whether you're in a mess, whether you've had the hardest, toughest day at work, no matter what situation, to be able to just ask you to calm down, sit, tell me what's wrong, everything.
Seems like we're all copy pasting each other here.
Damn it.
So communication is incredibly important to me. There has to be effective communication between the two of us, and if we can't understand how we talk to each other, then that's communication is going to work. So communication's the big thing that needs to go both ways, and I would also expect that my partner would take care of themselves, like not to abuse their body or damage it in some way. Well, not like that's not as big of a consideration, but like don't do drugs, don't come up with a crack pipe, shit like that.
Just so you guys know, I was rubbing my belly,
Yeah.
and he looked at me with love. I feel special.
Because he told me to look straight out of this way.
The most important
Lord.
thing in any relationship, in my opinion, is communication. If you can communicate, you can compromise. You can take care of each other's needs when it is necessary.
Hey,
But-
hey, hey.
But I also think connection is also a big priority. That respect, that trust for each other, you need to have that, or else the relationship is going to break down one way or another. And the only situations in which it doesn't, when you don't have that, is if one person is not operating properly.
Fair enough.
If,
Bacon, do you have anything to add to that one? Because
Yeah.
I want to hear yours.
I would say, honestly, just going off of what these guys are saying here, but which would sum up everything that was said is consistency
Oh, that's a big word.
on both ends. She's consistent in her ways. She's consistent with loyalty, respect, love, nurturement, everything a woman is supposed to do in her role and to provide. Now, when I say role, I mean it's a thing where if a woman loves a man the way how a woman loves a man, or a man loves a woman, or a man loves a man, it's everything that has to be consistent. You know, it has to go too fast or too slow. It's just maintain the balance and provide, I would say, a safety net. Now, when I say safety net, I mean, like, just going by what the brothers here have been saying. You come home from a long day. Everything on the outside world you take on. When you come home, you push that key in the door. That's your safe space.
So we're going to give Frankie a second because he wants to add on to something. I saw that. I saw you pulling the mic and you got excited. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We'll give you your moment. You get one more question after this.
Okay.
And then I'll ask a generalized question to everyone, including Bacon.
Okay.
And then we're going to say our goodbyes. Because I know somebody needs to leave. Because the oven's on and the heat is on. So anyways, go ahead.
So I just wanted to weigh in a little more on my thoughts on it. I heard Terry mention about trust, and that really is important too. Because if either of you don't have that, nothing is going to work. Because you're not going to trust what the other's doing. You're constantly going to be thinking, oh, are they being honest with something? Are they hiding something from me? But you need to have that trust, and the trust and the communication come together. And if you don't have either of them, it's just going to fall apart.
Trust equals tragedy.
Listen, heartbroken. What's your last question for the panel tonight?
My last question is this.
Put the phone away or you're buying me dinner.
Yeah, I'm not just.
I'm not cheap tonight. Hey.
Something tells me you're never cheap.
You want to see?
No, thank you.
That's not what you said last night.
Oh, is that so?
Listen,
That right guy.
listen. I just heard that somebody was on a jet plane to get here to be with me. That's all I know.
And that's how they leave, right?
Well, no, I'm not going to be leaving. Apparently, you were coming and now you're going.
Isn't this great? The flight leaves at 8. Get it?
So please ask your question.
Now, a little bit of a scenario for the fellas here. There's something on your mind that you really want to tell the person that you're with, but you feel if you discuss it that it's not going to get anywhere. Do you A, let the person know what the situation or what you're feeling and see where it goes, or B, keep it to yourself and leave because you may think right off the bat that if you do discuss it, that it's not going to go the way that you want to? Anyone can answer.
I'm going to weigh in on that a little bit. I think if you have concerns or you have feelings that need to be said, that need to be brought to the table, not saying anything and just letting it bottle up in your head, that all that's going to do is these uneasy feelings, I'm assuming they're uneasy anyway, these uneasy feelings, it's going to turn into, it's just going to keep festering and bubbling, and it's going to, intensify and intensify until it turns into resentment. And once you have that resentment, everything is just going to start going downhill from there. So I think even if you are unsure of how your partner is going to take it, I think these tough conversations are conversations that need to at least be attempted to have. And if communication falls apart, that happens, just come back to it. And if it is getting to the point where you have tried several times to have this conversation and they are just not budging and no one's listening to each other, then communication is broken down. So one of the fundamental parts of the relationship is gone, but you need to have these conversations even if they're uncomfortable to get into.
Leading on to what Frankie just said.
I can't hear you.
Leading on to what Frankie said.
Why are you leaning onto it?
Why are you leading us on, bro?
All right.
Because he pleads the fifth.
Next.
Going with the same thing that Frankie has just said. It's more of like it depends on what it is. It could be like the smallest of things where like it's just a small habit they do. It's regular basis and it's just something that you see. And though it can get annoying sometimes you find it cute, sometimes you're just frustrated at it. If it's something small detail, I don't think it's something that should be like have to brought up or have to be something that's like such a huge conversation. Again, if it's something that like continuously frustrates you, continuously does something either harms you emotionally, physically, or something like that, that's something that should be brought forward to them and talk about. It is tough conversations that are the ones that build the stronger relationships.
But can't the smallest things lead to the worst of things?
It,
So-
it can.
Is that what she told you?
Actually, yes, she did.
Oh.
No, but I mean, like I
This
get,
on
I get,
Abiertos.
I get what you're saying, because at the end of the day, the number one thing I this is just off of my opinions and past experiences. The smallest details that you don't say are always the ones that come back and say, "Well, why didn't you say it from the beginning?
Why didn't you tell me the truth?
Why didn't you say something?
But I thought I meant something to you.
If you brought it up from before, maybe we could have resolved it instead of letting it fester, like how you're just mentioning."
Do you have to? Do you have to let it linger? Notice how that word keeps on coming around. Please, next. Who's ever next? I think Frankie was next. Or Terry? Or
Terry.
I'm just gonna wait a little more on, or whatever he calls
Paco!
himself. Taco Man. All right.
It's for Instagram group chat.
Is that so? It's coming out now.
out of the closet?
Out of the curtain.
There's a door there. We can open it. For you.
I just want to weigh in on that a little bit, because you mentioned things that are small things and things that may seem insignificant, but the key word in that is insignificant to you. It's very subjective what something that's insignificant is, and if it's insignificant to you, that doesn't mean it's insignificant to your partner. So even if you think, oh, it's just a little thing, it's bullshit, I don't care about it, you should still mention it.
That's what she told him.
Okay.
So,
That's very telling.
getting back to our last two fellas. One fella,
Okay.
two fellas, whoever's left.
So communication is a two-way street. And quite frankly, I refuse to be the person that lets that collapse. So even if I'm not sure how they will respond, I will do my best to make sure that that conversation happens. And if they keep deflecting or they keep ruining things without considering anything else, like my own feelings, then that's when I will consider like having a much more, like making it much more clear that this is something that can't keep happening. And if they still ignore it, then I'm fucking out.
Awesome.
All right. So in my perspective, well, just another copy paste. Honestly, communication is so key. As soon as you stop communicating, that's when everything's gonna start deteriorating. Right.
So I'm going to ask you guys a yes or no question. And this is going to all of you, including
Plead
you,
the
Bay. No. Okay, yeah, you can, because none of you used it. Congratulations.
Oh, no, I'm going to answer the question.
So, this is a yes or no question. And I'm going to start it off with Tocino.
As you always do.
Well, I'll give you my answer at the end of it. Do you believe in love? And is love real? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 I'm unsure.
That's not one of the options.
I think he's choosing to remain silent.
No, you know what? I used to be a huge believer in love. And anybody that's come around me has known it. Because if there's something I love, is I love my kids. I love my parents. I love those that are close to me like bacon. No homo.
Again, you just had to clarify that.
I know you
That's
wish.
not what you said last night.
No, you meant to say no Diddy.
Baby oil!
Johnson.
Wah, wah. Okay, you know what? So, and I'll clarify it for you guys. I'll tell you why. I've been in long-term relationships, but unfortunately, the first one, it wasn't real love. It was puppy love, which you guys eventually will go through. Or have gone through, or have gone and continue going through. You still fuck up. I won't mention names.
The name has been mentioned.
However,
Oh man, that's funny.
when you think you found it, you don't know if you found it. And even when you think you have found it, then they can choose not to have it or be it or true it. So it makes you want to think. And this is why I say I'm unsure. Because I thought I had it. I believed I had it, but then it wasn't. and they want to believe there wasn't. Apparently it was, but it wasn't for me. So is it? How can you believe in something you're not unsure of? Keep that in mind, mi gente. This is Abiertos, and this is what we do. We make you think, we make you talk, and thank you, fellas, for being here this week with us. We're going to go around the room. You guys get a moment to say your hellos and goodbyes and your I love yous to whoever you want to say I loved you to. I loved you. I loved you a long time. But you could turn around and just say, you know what, thank you, F, not the police, because I like the police. Yeah. Which way you want to do it? You want to go clockwise or counterclockwise?
Anybody take the
That
floor?
was she said last night.
The floor is
Do
yours.
you really want to know what she said last night?
I plead the fifth.
Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Anyways, we're gonna start with let's start with Frankie, and we'll go around the room.
Oh, putting me under pressure.
Not like you don't like being under pressure.
I prefer to give pressure, but that's
Jeez.
So he just without asking the question, he just told us that he'd rather be the top instead of the bottom. Thank you very much. Next.
no. It was great to see him. I was glad I could be here and give my interesting opinions.
It's nice to be here. I'm glad I could give my 2 cents. Be good to each other.
I'm glad I could be here, and I think it was very nice to voice some of my opinions.
I'm glad to be here to finally be out of the closet. And
Yo, what just happened? Bacon.
I've been let out of the corner.
Bacon's been put in the corner. Baby's in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
But I'm very thankful to be here today.
You know, I was starting to like it till you said that comment.
Right?
Quick.
Everything all calm and peaceful till you have to open his mouth.
Is that what she
Basically,
said?
right? Thank you guys for being here today. When Mendez mentioned that we were going to do this this episode, it gives a good clarity of how generations can talk about the same things. You know, I consider you guys friends, brothers. I just met you for the first time, and I respect each and every one of you for what you come and said today. You know, at the end of the day, for me, love is love and life is life. We live it. We open our eyes to see another day and take on opportunities that comes in front of us. But the one thing I always say to the listeners and the viewers is that love yourself, respect yourself, be good to yourself, because you can't do those, you can't do that with anyone else. MC Bacon salute, you know what it is, man. Mendez, let's go.
So, mi gente, every single week we talk about something that brings you guys closer, and we try to talk about things that are important to you. So don't forget, let us know what you want to listen to. Let us know what you want to talk about. And if you want to be a guest on our show to talk about any one of the topics that we're talking about, or you want to bring something new that you believe that Abiertos could bring to the world, let us know. On that note, as you can see, a lot of things, generation to generation, don't change. As you've heard today, it doesn't matter what generation it is, there's still manipulation, there's still hurt, there's still love. And there's still a huge belief, that love is real. And that many can still be and become who you want them to be. So, mi gente, with that being said, no se les olvide, every single week we're going to be here, Abiertos 7 p.m., YouTube, Spotify, and of course, on our parent company, RadioQueRico.com. Check us out. Bacon, thank you very much for being here, fellas. Thank you. I can't wait to have you guys here again in the studio having fun. We're going to, go away with this. Que dice algo
Ties are the
así.
best! Ties are the best!
¡Ay, mi gente!